McKenzie Milton has been hired as an offensive analyst for the Tennessee Volunteers. What does this mean for Tennessee? What's the impact of this for the Vols? For starters, I want to just kind of get this out in the open. This is a great hire. Is this going to change the game playing week to week for Tennessee? Is this going to be someone that is drawn up the game winner against Alabama or Georgia? Like, probably not. Offensive analyst means he's getting paid, but it does not mean he's going to be on the grass coaching. By NCAA rule, he's not able to be out there coaching up guys on the grass. That's not his role. Going to be in the box likely on game days, it sounds like, going to be in the meeting room, but there's still a lot that I think we need to talk about with this hire. Obviously, y'all that have kept up with this beautiful sport for a while, you know McKenzie Milton was the quarterback for Josh Heupel for a period of time at UCF, was in large part, I think, responsible for helping Dylan Gabriel after McKenzie Milton went down with an injury, worked his way back from injury after transferring to Florida State, got in the game. Like, one of the great stories of college football was his comeback story with getting back on the field after that horrific injury. I'll just start here. There is no limit to the kind of guys, character-wise, that you want in your locker room like a McKenzie Milton. You can't get enough of them, whether it's on your staff, whether it's in your locker room, on your training staff, doesn't matter. You want McKenzie Miltons in your building. That adds to the culture, and that just adds to the direction of your program, and I think this is a great move by Josh Heupel. Someone he's familiar with, someone that he trusts, has phenomenal character. Big time get from a character standpoint, adding him onto the staff. But I think there's some football impact here, and we'll talk about it in a second. Tennessee Vol fans, we love y'all. Make sure you're locked in right here. If you're not already, subscribe to this wonderful platform that is the On3 YouTube channel. We're also on podcast to get full episodes of this program. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get them. Go ahead and type in the Hard Count with JD Piquel. You can find us there. So we appreciate y'all in advance for that. So the first, I think, ripple effect, or one of the first impact pieces of McKenzie Milton joining the staff as an offensive analyst. Remember what Joe Milton credited a lot of his success to a season ago. It was Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker goes down with an injury, and he is essentially a second coach for Joe Milton throughout the bowl game, and obviously they were very tight, and I'm sure he will still utilize him as Hendon Hooker's now with the Detroit Lions, but no longer is Hendon Hooker in that meeting room with him. No longer is Hendon Hooker able to process things in real time with Joe Milton. So with that being said, I think McKenzie Milton could be a phenomenal sounding board, to take what Austin Price said from VolQuest. It could be a phenomenal sounding board for Joe Milton, someone to run ideas through, someone that can, give different messaging to Joe Milton than maybe a typical coach would in a different age group. I'm not saying Joe Milton still isn't getting great coaching from everybody else on the staff, but I think it's worth noting that you have a guy who's not super far removed from his playing career, who did it at a really high level in the same system under the same coach. I think that matters. Could be sort of that older brother figure that it sounds like Hendon Hooker was in some ways for Joe Milton. So that's the first piece of this. The other piece of this is when you look at the maturation of a young quarterback, coaching is just so crucial. And assuming Nico Iamaleava is going to be your backup quarterback for Tennessee, he's going to get the same rep count as Joe Milton in practice, but I don't know that he'll get the same coaching. And maybe he will. I'm not implying he will or he won't. I'm just saying you're the number 2 quarterback. It would make sense for the staff to give a little bit more attention to the number 1 quarterback. So McKenzie Milton now, if I'm Josh Heupel, I'm saying, McKenzie, your job is to watch and help nurture the maturation of our stud quarterback that is the future of this whole program at Tennessee. You know the system. You know me. You know what I want. I want you to oversee his progress as much as possible. And so, I think that would be just a perfect role for someone like McKenzie Milton to play for someone like Nico Iamaleava. It just makes all the sense in the world. Coaching, watching through the tape, and knowing what you're looking at, too. It's not like they just grabbed some quarterback from another system or someone who had a good playing career, but he's figuring out Tennessee and the system. Like, that's not McKenzie Milton. McKenzie Milton was very successful in this system. And being able to now pour into someone like Nico Iamaleava at this stage in his career, I think that's crucial, and we could see a tremendous ripple effect from that. And the reason why I say that is we've all had those teachers that just make things make sense to us. right? Like, I mean, I think especially grade school where you weren't, traveling from class to class for different subjects, where you just had one teacher. There were some teachers that were able to put things in a messaging that made more sense to you. And I want to be extremely clear. I think Josh Heupel has one of the best staffs in the country. I think Josh Heupel is one of the best coaches in the country. I have no reservations about him being able to coach Nico Iamaleava. No questions about it. But to have another voice in there, to have someone, like I said, who is closer to his playing days, I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think it could be a tremendous match for someone like Nico to be a sounding board for Joe. I mean, there's a lot of things within this that I think could end up being very beneficial for Tennessee in the long run. Now, I'll say this too, just so we have it on record. McKenzie Milton, from everything I know about him, from his playing career to his character to how Josh Heupel talks about him, I think he's a rising star in the industry. And for Tennessee to be in on the ground floor, it sounds like McKenzie Milton, according to ESPN, said it was a no-brainer when the Tennessee opportunity became available to him to join this staff. If you're in Knoxville, you hang on to him as long as you possibly can. I don't think we're that far away from McKenzie Milton eventually being a position coach to eventually being a coordinator, and who knows how far away we are from him being a head coach. But I'm just saying this. I think McKenzie Milton's made of the right stuff, and to have him on your staff in Knoxville to kind of help nurture this quarterback room, I think it's a very subtle impact that could pay dividends for these guys and their progress come the fall. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We appreciate you listening on podcast, tuning into the live show. Like, y'all have been phenomenal throughout the course of this spring, leading in summer. Like, we're all junkies for this game. If you're tuned in May, you're a sicko about this game. I'm a sicko about this game, and so we're glad to have you here. We're glad to have you part of this community. So make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on the socials, at JD Piquel, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Check out the podcast. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.